Hello, and welcome back to Unsavory History. My name is Valerie, and today we're exploring one of the most ambitious structures never built, the German Arch of Triumph. Designed to tower over Berlin and dwarf nearly every monument of its kind, this colossal arch was intended to symbolize the power and permanence of the Nazi regime. Though it never rose from the ground, its story offers a chilling look at how architecture can be used as a weapon of ideology and psychological influence. When most people think of military power, they imagine tanks, aircraft, or armies. But throughout history, governments have also used architecture as a weapon of influence. Massive monuments can shape public perception, inspire loyalty, intimidate opponents, and project the image of an unstoppable state. Few examples illustrate this better than the proposed German Arch of Triumph designed by Adolf Hitler and Albert Speer. The structure was intended to stand at the heart of Hitler's planned capital city, Germania. If completed, it would have dwarfed the famous Arc de Triomphe in Paris. Its immense scale was not simply an engineering ambition, it was a political statement. Hitler believed architecture could communicate power across generations. He often described monumental buildings as symbols that would outlast governments and military victories. The arch was intended to serve as a permanent reminder of German strength, sacrifice, and national destiny as defined by the Nazi regime. From a psychological warfare perspective, the project had several objectives. First, it was designed to overwhelm the individual. Visitors approaching the structure would have felt physically small in comparison to the massive monument. This experience was intentional. Monumental architecture can create feelings of awe, submission, and insignificance, encouraging citizens to see themselves as part of a larger national mission. Second, the arch was meant to project permanence. Nazi leaders wanted both Germans and foreign observers to believe that the Third Reich was not a temporary government, but the beginning of a 1,000-year empire. By constructing buildings on a scale rarely seen in modern history, the regime sought to create the impression that its power was inevitable and enduring. Third, the monument would have served as a propaganda tool. The names of fallen German soldiers were intended to be displayed on the structure, linking military sacrifice with loyalty to the Nazi state. This connection between remembrance and political ideology helped transform national grief into support for the regime's goals. The international message was equally important. Foreign diplomats, visitors, and potential rivals would have encountered a city filled with colossal architecture designed to demonstrate Germany's industrial capacity, organizational ability, and military ambition. The arch was not merely a memorial, it was intended to be a declaration of dominance. Albert Speer later described many of these projects as attempts to create what he called architecture of power. Buildings became theatrical stages upon which the regime could display authority. Massive avenues, gigantic halls, and monumental arches were designed to make citizens feel like they were participating in something historically significant and unstoppable. Yet the project was never completed. The outbreak of World War II diverted resources toward the war effort, and Germany's defeat in 1945 ended the Germania plans entirely. Ironically, the failure to build the arch reveals an important lesson. While architecture can influence perception, monuments alone cannot guarantee political success. The Nazi regime invested enormous effort in symbols of permanence, yet the Third Reich collapsed after only 12 years. Today, historians view the proposed German Arch of Triumph not as a symbol of greatness, but an example of how authoritarian governments attempt to use architecture, spectacle, and psychological influence to legitimize power. The planned monument remains a reminder that buildings can be more than structures. They can be tools of ideology, propaganda, and psychological warfare. hope you were able to see the similarities between the German Arch of Triumph and what we're seeing today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share to other maybe like-minded people. Our next episode will be stepping a little bit away from history and looking at a more sociological argument. I hope you'll join me, and if you're interested in seeing other videos of unsavory history, there are several posted. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.